2, 3, 4.
We are Movie Menu Reviews into the Podverse. On today's menu, we'll be reviewing Mortal Engines and Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse. Welcome, ladies and gents. I'm Dan the Man Muñoz, host of Movie Menu Reviews, your weekly movie news and reviews podcast.
Yes.
Live on Facebook with special guest Cory Zerbe, CEO, Chief Executive Officer of Hooba Canoes Industries.
Thank you
for being on the show.
Hey. Thanks for being on.
As one of our sponsors, it's obligation of myself to go ahead and have you on the show every season. So we are very happy to have you here.
You've met your contractual obligation. Thank you.
We try. Or technically, we have no choice. We don't want to find out what happens if we don't.
You do not.
Also, filling his contractual obligation is my co-host Mike Stand.
I don't remember signing a contract, but that's okay.
No, you shouldn't. But you did.
Yeah, but I don't remember a lot of things, so
It
I think
signed in blood.
Yeah.
You were asleep, but it was signed in blood.
Someone who has not filled his contractual obligation, as you notice, is not here. Is Z?
Yes.
He will be here next week.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and move on to some movie news of the week. So as we talked about last week, the Godzilla.
It's like a new
Gorgonzola.
Yeah, Gorgonzola, which is delicious.
Yes,
that's
it
food,
is.
Right?
Well, I hope so. You've been eating it for who knows how long.
So the new Godzilla King of All Monsters trailer was released. So what did you guys think about where they're taking the sequel to the first Godzilla?
It looks really fun. I'm always up for seeing giant monsters smash buildings, especially in 3D. Maybe even 4DX if it's available there. So as far as like a movie itself, like if it's going to be an amazing story, it really doesn't matter to me. Like I just want to see giant monsters smashing things and each other. So and then it looks like it's going to fulfill that desire. So
It does look like a movie.
Doesn't it? Doesn't it look like a movie?
I didn't see the last. Yeah, it looks like a movie though. It's on the screen.
Yeah, it's gonna.
I think it looks pretty awesome. It looks like it's going to deliver what we all wanted in the first film for Godzilla, where we didn't see much of Godzilla till the last 15 minutes of the film.
Yeah,
seems like this
Spoiler.
movie. Spoiler alert, I should say. So this film looks like it's right off the bat going to be all about the monsters fighting. And there's a great line in there that says the other monsters are fighting to become the alpha to compete against Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not just going to see Godzilla beating up everyone, but we're going to see a bunch of monsters fighting each other. What do you guys think of like Rodin, Mothra, and the other monsters? Or Titans.
The monsters have their own names?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess that's if you follow like the Godzilla series, which honestly I don't follow it as I do know the Mothra name, but I wouldn't even if I was staring right at the creature, I wouldn't be able to tell you which one.
It's funny because they had
know.
like who was here to protect us, and then they show like I think Mothra, like, and then which is like, oh, the moth is gonna help us. He's out to save us.
Okay,
so that's a good guy.
Yeah, I was gonna ask the same thing. Is Mothra a good
I
guy?
believe so. I mean, it's been such a long time since I've seen it, but I remember he originally was a bad guy, and then he teams up with Godzilla.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm up for checking it out either way.
Yeah, it looks good. I'm quite excited for it.
Yeah.
On that note, let's go ahead and transition into the movie review for Mortal Engines.
Movie menu.
Alright, so I have not seen this film, but I will go ahead and introduce it. Mortal Engines, directed by Christian Rivers, based on the book by Philip Reeve, screenplay by Fran Walsh, Philippa Boyens, and Peter Jackson. Here's the plot. A post-apocalyptic world where cities ride on wheels and consume each other to survive. Two people meet in London and try to stop a conspiracy. Starring Hera Hilmar, Robert Sheehan, and Hugo Weaving. All right, guys. So, depending on your spoiler-free review, excuse me, that Gonzaga beans or whatever.
Gonzaga beans?
Gonzaga beans. I don't know.
Gonzo beans? Gargonzola?
There you go.
Godzilla beans?
Godzilla's like, oh, those damn Godzilla beans. Depending on your free review, I would decide this movie is worth a dine and watch it in theaters, take out, wait and watch it at home, or leftovers, get yourself eaten by, I don't know, El Sereno or another city.
Oh, okay. Eaten by another city. Yeah, okay.
All
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
Other than London.
Yeah.
So, Mike, you don't have a chance to earn a point.
That's okay.
But if you do win, you can go ahead and give a point away to Cory.
Sure. Yeah,
Cory,
yeah,
as the
absolutely.
guest, you have a chance to win a point. Whoever has the most points of all our guests at the end of the season will develop a segment of their choosing to air.
Well, why doesn't Mike
Okay.
get a point? I don't
Because
New
we don't
rule.
want them anymore.
Yeah. No, it's just they don't want me to win.
They don't want you to
so
win?
I'm not. No, that's not really why.
We're bringing the man down.
No, all. So only guests can win the show now.
know.
So the end of at the end of the season, it's going to be a guest chosen segment.
Has a guest ever won?
No.
No. Well,
Maybe that's why you changed the rules.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
And we wanted to give the guests a chance to come up with a segment of their choosing.
Yeah. And to be fair, like the guests aren't on the show enough to win anyways. So
it was a flawed system from the start.
From the start, yeah. From the
Well,
start.
no, but now it's like if we win a point, technically, we can't keep it. We have to give it to a guest.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So okay, that's
Yeah.
good. I like that.
So that way, that gives, even though the guests don't get enough time to come on the show, they can basically get extra points from one of us.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, extra credit.
Extra credit. Yeah. There you go. That's good.
So go ahead and rate this film, Cory.
What? So what are the two lower
So
choices?
so
again?
just
Sorry.
Take
that's
out.
okay.
I know I've been on
Yeah.
the show
No,
before
no,
and I
no.
should remember,
It's okay.
but I
Just
don't.
take out, wait and watch it at home, or leftovers.
Yeah.
It's between leftovers and watch it at home. Maybe I'll give it a watch it at home.
The takeout.
Yeah, I'll give it a takeout.
Ike.
Yeah, I agree with Cory. It is a takeout for sure. So
Now there has been some bombs this year. This has now been included in that.
yes, because it deserves to be.
Yeah, it's not that
So-
good.
So visually, this film is like A plus. It's visually, it's amazing. I was able to see this in 3D, and it's totally made to be enjoyed in 3D.
But if it's worth to watch home, then you need to have a 3D TV at home to watch it to enjoy it.
Yes, yeah. But so the story is it's basically like a B film with A graphics, pretty much, and not in a campy cool way. You see every single plot point like a mile away. Kind
Now
of
this
way.
is based on a YA novel, and
It felt like it.
What
this,
does that mean?
young adult?
Oh,
So it's like
it seemed like it was for kids. Like
it seemed like it was the same
vein.
vein as like Twilight,
Mhm.
Hunger Games. Now, when Twilight and Hunger Games came out, that started a new genre of YA film starting to launch. Do you think this film would have done better back in that time, or you think it just would have still bombed?
So I think the problem with this with the film was just that the script needed way more development. The world is so rich, yet like the characters are so.
You've got so many characters,
Yeah,
and
it's-
you will introduce somebody, and then they'll disappear because you've got to introduce so many other people, and it's
Do you
kind of a
think-
mess that way.
Yeah.
Did this set up for like a franchise?
No,
I
it
don't think
didn't.
so. No.
It didn't like for as much world building and as much character introduction that was there. Like it actually like closes the story. It's like
It had the look of like a Lord of the Rings, steampunk Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
but
Well, that
the
could be because of
story
Peter
wasn't.
Jackson.
Yeah,
influence.
and that's really the only reason I wanted to see it, because I assumed I made a mistake. I assumed that Peter Jackson was like directing, like this was his project. I just glanced at a web page and I was like, oh, Peter Jackson, okay,
Yeah.
should be good. But
No wonder you picked it.
that's why I picked it. It was a mistake.
And they, and
I should have
you'll
seen Spider-Man instead.
Yeah, you'll find out even more why it was a mistake later. But so and I think I would have to say the advertisement for this, I guess, did its job because it convinced
From
Cory
the
to go see it.
makers Yeah.
It's
But
like
you know, I should have known better because whenever it's from the makers of, it's always it's never the creative person.
Yeah, it's always like this is the selling point.
Yeah.
It's like
And that's why they have those advertisements to go ahead and like trick people into thinking that person who they like is the one behind the filmmaking, but they're not. They're like the producer on it or something.
Yeah.
So, what did you guys think about? So you said there was a lot of world building, which is fun
And world eating too.
That's true. Yes.
What did you guys think of the characters that were written and the actors that portrayed them?
I wanted to like the robot strike, but after a while, it just became a little too goofy. There were too many flashbacks, which is kind of a cheapy way of developing his story.
Now talk about that.
So in the film, there's this robot that's after our main female lead, Esther. I still don't know if it's pronounced Aster or Esther.
Esther.
Because they kept like the robot would scream her name Aster, kind of. And then, it's just pronunciation. I don't
It's
know.
kind of like Wally when
I don't know
instead of
which
Eve, he would call her Eva.
Oh yeah.
But it's called Eve in
Yeah.
the. So
A little bit of a robot accent.
Yeah, without spoiling it, without spoiling the film too much. The robot's after our main female, after the female lead to try to kill her. So pretty much, and as the stories revealed of their history, it just gets more and more corny along the way.
Super corny.
And so it's like so it seemed like they tried.
Oh, her name is neither. It's Hester.
Hester. So Cory was right.
Hester.
Yeah.
Hester Shaw.
Hester. It's Hester. Okay. I was like, is it Esther? And then some characters would pronounce it like Aster, Aster. I was just confused.
Mike, they're from London.
They're speaking some foreign language I didn't understand. Yeah. English?
Hester.
But
so it's English.
English. Okay, they're speaking. So the character, so this film kind of like devolves along the way, and it gets like the plot points get more and more corny, and I think
It's very convoluted.
Not only is it convoluted, but there's just like the amount of melodrama in it just starts destroying the film. So by the end of it, it's like you've been introduced to so many cliches that it's just. I was introduced to so many cliches that the film lost me by the end, story wise. Visually, it's beautiful and fun to see, and the special effects are super cool. There's a lot of.
Basically, watch this film on mute.
You know what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be great if you could get rid of the dialogue. If you could.
Yeah.
It'd still be good to hear the sound effects and things like that.
Maybe you can go to like change the language.
Change the language. Yeah, that would be great. That's a good idea. Change the language.
And then create your own subtitles.
Yeah.
And then have your own cool story to it.
Yeah.
That'd be the way to watch it.
I agree with Cory. Yeah, watch it in another language. You can't understand it anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys agree with that. Yeah.
No, I mean I agree.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say no.
But and there's so many like interesting. There's so many characters in this that could have gone in a more interesting way, and I think they should have spent way more time on the script. They should have done way more passes, and so there's this like assumption that it almost feels like they dumbed down the movie, and they didn't. I think
they did. There's this part early on where it almost seems a little like they're going to go into a Mad Max territory where our protagonists get captured, and the people that capture them, like they're posing as good people, but then they're really selling them off as slaves into like a cannibalistic meat market.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, this is going to be interesting. But then that scene just sort of it concludes, and you never go back to anything that dark again. And it's just like, I kind of wish they would have taken it further there.
And it's such a dark theme, and they made it so like PG that it kind of it ruins the purpose of it even being there.
Right.
So the the story was there, but if they would have just taken it further into an R rating, they probably would have been
But
more.
yeah, it didn't
more
even
stake?
it didn't even have to be an R rating. I think they should have just assumed that their audience was smarter than it was. It almost felt like they were trying to simplify it to like 5-year-olds or something. It's like it went younger than young adult. That's how I felt. Like in the same vein as like The Hobbit did versus Lord of the Rings. So in Lord of the Rings, I felt like there's a lot of darker, heavier, like adult themes in it. Although it's for everyone, And I think there's enough themes in there that everyone can relate to. Whereas The Hobbit, I think, is just like it's the same world, but like it's turned more into like I wouldn't say it
covered or
I wouldn't say a child's story because that's not fair because Lord of the Rings is for children as well, but I would say like the heavier themes are wiped out of it. And I mean so Mortal Engines is the same way where they cleaned up a lot of these themes, and I think the film would have been much stronger if they would have just explored the reality, explored that world, and just not made it safe for kids,
and gotten rid of characters so that you had time to explore.
Yeah.
So doing some editing.
A lot of editing.
Yeah.
A lot of editing.
It was too many characters, and I know that's like a typical issue of like novels being adapted to screenplay. So.
Now, the director of this film was actually a storyboard artist on The Hobbit.
Oh.
All the Hobbit films. And this is like his first major directing job that he's taking over. Does this show?
I mean, the whole time I was thinking like, well, the concept artist did a really good job here.
Yeah.
So I guess in that sense it showed. It just didn't seem like there were any writers involved.
Yeah. That's accurate. I agree with Cory there. It's like you could see. I just felt like the main love story between our male and female protagonists is just like it seems very forced, and just it just seems like a huge rush job to force you to feel like they care about each other. It just everything feels too soon. It doesn't make any sense.
They didn't really have any moments together where you could feel like they, I don't know, maybe one.
Any chemistry.
I mean, I felt like there were like forced moments, but like
I won't leave you behind, or I know I won't leave you behind.
So this is known as
why do they give a shit about each other?
Yeah, exactly.
This is known as the Mortal Engines Quartet. So there's 4 books in this series.
Wow.
Do you think that they would make a sequel to this, or is this going to be like Aragon, or like another movie that only made the first film and that's it?
I'm hoping that it just stays as is.
Do you think this would probably make a better TV series?
No. Well, it depends. I think they just would, no matter what they would decide to do. I think they just need to bring stronger writers, and I think regardless of anything else, like I think that's more important. Like if they get the writing down, then it'll be fine. They need stronger writers. They need to get rid of all the forced love story, and maybe that's like from the novel. So that's. I don't know if they can continue.
Were the books any good?
Who
knows?
I was gonna say, like, if you're trying to make a screen adaptation of a novel that has all those same things, then you're losing from the start. So.
Now, could it be because you guys are adults and not young adults?
No, because I loved Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is one of my favorite films, and I think I would have, and I think kids would enjoy Lord of the Rings as well. So, am I wrong?
No, you're right. Lord of the Rings is much better.
No,
I mean, the source material was good, and it took its time. Yeah. I mean, over the span of 3 movies, you can explore a lot of different characters. Unlike, I don't know how long this movie was, but it was
super
overreaching.
Long. Yeah, it felt like it should have ended 40 minutes before it ended.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And like it's one of those types of films where like in the middle of action sequences I lost interest. And I think a lot of reasons why action sequences are so exciting is because you have so much care so much about the characters as they're going through whatever is happening at that moment, but if you're not attached to them, it doesn't matter what's happening. Like, you're just not going to care.
Well, thank you for watching this, so I don't have to care.
I mean, I was thinking, at the end of Rogue One, like that third act where everybody's kind of sacrificing themselves for the greater good. They try to do a little bit of...
Spoiler alert.
So this is... Yeah.
Go on. No, go on, Cory.
Well, they try to do that at the end of this movie. Well, whatever. There's always a climactic moment in any action movie. But you see these people... I'm not going to tell you who dies and who lives, but you see people trying to sacrifice themselves, and it's almost like they're like,
there's no need.
There's no need.
It's like a bad zombie movie.
Come on, don't... Yeah.
It's
like, don't blow yourself up for this dumb fucking maneuver.
It's not going to make any difference, right?
It doesn't seem like it's going to make a difference. It really doesn't.
And it doesn't. It
doesn't. And you don't care who's doing it. It almost feels like they're like looking at the camera like, look what I'm doing. I'm going to kill myself for this, just to create like some extra drama. But the drama should have been created way earlier than that moment.
Yeah. And I think I would have preferred like I think one of the mistakes that they made in this film was that it's very clear that Hester is the lead of this, the main lead in this film, but it doesn't start out that way. So she's introduced later on in the story. If they're going to make her the lead, then they should have just brought her in from the beginning and just explained her story from the beginning. It was more interesting anyways. And the main, our male lead, that character just seemed to devolve as the story went.
He became more and more useless.
Yeah, pretty much. He just became more and more of a useless character.
So I thought that Hester was the lead from the beginning, so she's not?
She's not. She's one of the leads, but they don't introduce her till later in the film. So not much later, but
not as soon as the movie starts as you would expect.
Yeah, and it kind of had the same feeling as the first Fantastic Beasts. That's kind of how it felt to me. I don't know. Where it's kind of like disjointed in terms of pace.
Mm-hmm.
And so
okay, well, I think I've heard enough. Unless you guys have any final thoughts.
No.
Visual.
Don't go watch it.
Not even in theaters anymore, or not even at home. Just
at home it would be fine. Like if you
like
want to do that whole language trick, I think that would be all right.
I think it would be great to watch it in another language and just make up your own plot. I think
but you know what? That also seems like a waste of 2 hours too.
You don't watch it by yourselves. You watch it with friends, and then you guys.
Yeah, you could do that
create
too.
your own dialogue, like a Mystery Science Theater 2000.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Do that,
yeah, that sounds like fun. And I think there's enough stunning visual effects in here to enjoy it, and
so just have a friend that has a 3D TV, which I do.
Oh, okay. Then watch it at home, Dan. 3D TV. Okay. Invite us over.
Yeah.
we'll bring some Godzilla beans.
Okay, in that case. All right, so I will go ahead and rate that Take Out. We're going to watch it at home. Specifically, if you have a 3D TV, or if you can change the language, do so. That's the rating for Mortal Engines.
I like that rating. That's yeah. I'm probably gonna do that anyways when it comes out. Watch it in another language, basically.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to the next film.
Movie menu.
Next movie we're reviewing is Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse, directed by Bob Persichetti, Peter Ramsey, and Rodney Rothman. Written by Phil Lord and Rodney Rothman. Here's the plot. Miles Morales becomes the Spider-Man of his reality and crosses paths with his counterparts from other dimensions to stop a threat to all reality. It stars Shameik Moore, Jake Johnson, Haley Steinfeld, Mahershala Ali, Lily Tomlin, John Mulaney, Zoe Kravitz, Nicolas Cage, Chris Pine, and Liev Schreiber. Alright guys, so me and Mike saw this film. Cory, you did not.
I give it a dine in, but I didn't see it. It sounded good though.
But you will decide if this movie is worth a dine in watching in theaters, take out wait and watch at home, or leftovers, throw yourself into another dimension where you can't see this film.
All right.
Mike?
Mike, how do you rate this movie? I'm not supposed to do
there
that.
You go.
Yeah. I rated it a dine in. as I'm contractually obligated by Cory.
Am I allowed to ask him questions? Dan?
Yes.
No, you're not.
Why? Oh, wait. Never
Yeah,
mind.
yeah, you can.
How does it work? So you give the opinion.
No, you ask whatever you want. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Well, I watched it too.
What did you think, Dan?
Dine in all the way.
Dan-
And I
Dan-
saw it in IMAX 3D.
Oh, you IMAX 3D.
IMAX 3D,
IMAX
and
3D.
it is fantastic.
Wow.
I want to see this in 4D with 3D glasses. as well.
Yeah. Let me know when you're gonna go.
Okay.
I'll join you. What theater did you see it in, Dan?
Santa Anita AMC.
Oh,
IMAX.
I didn't know they had IMAX 3D at Santa Anita.
The crazy thing, though, now this is totally off topic because this is not the review. This is more like 3D showings and IMAX showings.
Sure.
For some reason, now IMAX was coming back on 3D showings, and they were starting that this year in 2018. I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of films that come on IMAX don't have 3D showings till much later in the night. And then when they launch the A-list, they definitely don't do it in 3D for during the day or evening till the very last showing is usually going to be the 3D showing.
Wow.
Because A-listers, they don't have to pay for IMAX anymore because it's included part of the package.
Yeah.
So for them, I guess, to save some money,
It's the hoop to jump through.
right?
Gotcha.
So if you
Well,
really
that's
want to
okay.
watch it, you need to wait till the last showing.
You know, that's
And I was
that's
like,
okay.
screw you, AMC. I'm going to wait. And I did, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
They could just charge like a little bit more.
No,
They should.
Yeah.
I'm happier with just waiting a little later. I'm okay
Yeah.
with that. I'm okay with that.
But-
You know,
But what if you get sleepy?
then go to
Then
sleep.
go to-
Have somebody wake you up
It's
in
so
5
late.
minutes.
But yeah, I would recommend it watching it. This is a film to watch in 3D. You shouldn't just watch it in 2D because the way that the animation is, it's like different types of animation intertwined into one
Yeah.
to make.
Has a very unique style.
It does, and I read somewhere that they did that intentionally because it's like about different dimensions and
Yeah.
realities all combining together.
You know,
So it's like they have like computer graphic animated like Toy Story type of 3D, but then they also have like hand drawn over it, and they also have like comic style over it.
Yeah.
So it's really
It's-
interesting the way that they went ahead and did this animation.
Yeah, so if any of you guys have seen the film Annihilation, where when also dealing with like weird dimensions, I guess, where I feel like the Spider-Man film kind of borrowed that same style. That same style.
Spider-Man's been around for like 50 years.
What I mean is the style. The style is very new. I've never seen that in any other film I could think of recently, other than Annihilation. And what I mean,
Animated films.
You
take
know,
about
I
3 years
saw
to be made.
Annihilation, and it didn't look anything like the trailer for this movie.
what I mean is they do this interesting effect where they split up, like you get like it's almost like the colors are split, where it's like red and green. Like there's just this weird.
So wait, you could distinguish red and green?
you can see colors in it. You know, I'm not used to seeing.
It's not black and white.
No, what I mean is like in Annihilation, when they show the other dimensions, they have this weird like rainbow effect.
It's like an oil slick kind of a
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, and I think that they do that effect subtly all throughout the film, and you kind of see that, and it's really cool.
Maybe you just had like grease in your eyes.
Maybe
Did you
I
see it in
had-
3D?
I was eating popcorn with my eyes, and yeah, I didn't see it in 3D.
Oh.
Yeah, but it was great in 2D. It was so great. I want to see it again in 4D. So
Yes.
so,
I
uh,
agree.
Skip to 3D, go straight to 4.
it goes straight to
go straight
4D.
to 4D.
Just yeah.
If you have a 4D in your city, I highly recommend for you to go see it in 4D.
yeah, and it's very, very funny, in the same vein as you can.
It's like a side interrupt. But
No,
yeah, it's
go
very
ahead.
funny, but it's also very there's
Oh,
a lot
so-
of heart
uh-huh.
and it's very heartbreaking as well.
Yeah. It's
Why is it heartbreaking?
Is
that a spoiler?
It's not a spoiler because it's in the trailer. So, and if you know the comics, you know that Miles Morales becomes Spider-Man after Peter Parker dies. So that's all I'm gonna say.
Peter Parker dies.
Peter Parker does die. Yeah, and it.
Oh wait, it seemed like he was gonna die in the trailer, or maybe that's just what I was.
Well, Miles Morales tells them in the trailer,
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you're dead.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
In my world, you're dead."
Mhm.
yeah. So it's kind of like Toy Story in the same way, where there's a lot of funny moments, and coupled with sad moments. So there's like even though it's a cartoon, it has like heartfelt moments between Miles Morales and his father. Also, Miles Morales and his uncle. So there's like
and Miles Morales and Spider-Man.
So between so. I guess what I'm trying to get at is that there's also straight characters in this cartoon that play very, very serious roles to counter like some of the humor and silliness that's going on, and it works very well.
It's a really nice blend, and I feel like this movie is probably one of my favorite movies of the year. But I think it did such a great job blending not just a comic book film, but like a nice film for the whole family as well.
Yeah.
Like it's not, for me, it's not just an animated film, it's a film to watch.
Yeah, I agree with that. I wanted to ask Dan though, like well, I'm not as familiar as the comic book series as you, Dan, or the history of Spider-Man itself. Why is Kingpin so strong? So Kingpin, and I'm hoping that's not spoiler, that to mention that Kingpin is the main villain in this film. And Kingpin's like
he's just always been super strong.
He's just physically powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Like why is he so physically powerful? Is there like a backstory that's not shown in the film? Not that it matters. Not that it's needed. I think
was he bit by like a radioactive thing? Like what is the source?
No, Wilson Fisk. He's just really powerful, strong. There was like experiments to try to be like the super soldier serum. There was like a storyline with that, but he's just a really strong character.
Oh,
just born strong.
Yeah, well, he does a lot of experiments on himself, and he's really rich.
Oh, I see. Okay,
he lifts a lot of weight.
Just think of it like he's like Lex Luthor.
Okay, got it. Yeah, it was. I thought it was a good villain, even though I mean you do get some of his backstory and his motivation, and I think what was given was good enough. But I was just curious even more about
how could he battle?
Yeah,
Spider-Man?
how could he battle these other superheroes, and how can he hold up? He's just like
he's a very special man.
He's very close to my heart. But yeah, were there any what else?
He works out, Mike. I'm just kidding.
Do I have any more questions?
Yeah.
How does it end? No.
So, I'm just kidding.
No, not really. So it sounds like it was a good movie.
Yeah.
Well, they introduced quite a few spider people, I should say.
Spider people, yeah.
Because there were all these dimensions that you mentioned. Do they like? Is it characters from other dimensions just popping in?
Well,
is there an explanation for why their worlds are converging?
Yes, which is the way they explain it is amazing. Like, and that's a pun intended because it's Amazing Spider-Man. But they go through it as a short montage with the comic books.
Yeah,
they're funny. Like, all right, this is how this started, and it's basically all of them have the same story, but it's just different outcomes of it. So Spider-Man has, as we know, Uncle Ben dies, and then he with great responsibility comes with great power comes great responsibility, and all that stuff. Then we see Spider-Gwen, and Peter Parker dies in her dimension, so she takes up the mantle of Spider-Man, and so it's like very similar stories and backgrounds, but it's told in different ways. Yeah. That's really smart and really fun.
Yeah. And then there's Spider-Noir, who's voiced by Nicolas Cage, which I didn't know, but it was a funny character. Like, it's Spider-Man as like a 40s like detective.
He's a gumshoe. He's a detective, eh?
Yeah. And it's just I thought it was really funny, and like his whole world is like black and white, and
he sees a Rubik's Cube for the first time.
Yeah,
and he's like, "What's this?"
He's all amazed by colors. Yeah, it's funny. And then
Spider-Ham.
You got Spider-Ham, which is a super cartoony. And whose alter ego is
Peter Porker.
Peter Porker, which I thought was funny. Yeah.
Now he's like a really crazy character cartoon. Like, he's like, think about like Bugs Bunny and like those Warner Brothers cartoons.
Yeah,
like he's similar. Mm-hmm. If they had a Spider-Man character persona as well.
Yeah. Then we got the anime character Penny Parker, which is it's basically like the equivalent to, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it's basically the little girl, is kind of like the little girl character in Cowboy Bebop, where she's like basically like super amazing, like like typing a billion words a minute while like chewing gum or something
Or
or
popcorn.
candy. Yeah, inside a giant anime robot battling. And it is like actual animation. in this,
So
yeah.
they stick with that animation for that character is anime style.
Yeah, it's anime style with that
which
character.
is completely different from everyone. And Noir is different too.
Yeah.
because he looks like old school Batman, or you know how it's Batman the animated series. The way that was made, it was black paper.
Yeah,
and
black
they,
paper.
and they put it over color.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how what Noir looks like. It's like all black,
Mhm.
which
Yeah.
is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And they stick to those animations with those type of different dimension characters,
Yeah.
which I thought was great.
Yeah, super fun. We're not forgetting any spider characters, are we? I think that was all of them, right?
That's all of them.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I also really like the music in this film, especially the character music for each Spiderverse people, as well as like there's one villain named the Prowler
Oh, the Prowler.
who is like terrifying. I don't know if you were like, he's a very terrifying villain, and there's a moment where he's chasing after Miles, and the music is just like a horror film type of music. It was really well done, and they saw what they had, and they really built up each moment in this film. Like nothing was out of place. Everything was there for a purpose, and there was always subtle jokes here and there that if you caught, were a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, and
But was it as good as Mortal Engines?
No, because if you watch it in any other language, then it won't be as fun. I'm sure as Mortal Engines would be as watched in different languages.
Was there like a lesson that
yeah,
that it teaches you? I'm just curious.
yeah,
Yeah,
there are.
like it's very similar to what Peter Parker learned, and with great power comes great responsibility. There's something that Miles learns as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have a comment from Heather McLean. She says, "This movie was so good." 3 exclamation points.
3 of them. So that means you gotta see
Actually,
it.
I saw the movie with her last night.
Oh,
so-
you did? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
IMAX 3D at AMC Santa Anita.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, we'll definitely be catching this in 4D pretty soon. So
Is there anything that interested you that you wanted to know about?
No. well, no. I mean, you had mentioned that. So when it goes to like Peter Porker, it would be hit like you would see it in his style versus the noir.
yeah.
Did those characters hop into each other's worlds?
No, not in each other's. So there were all these other versions of Spider-Man were in Miles Morales' world.
Okay.
So the main plot line is Miles Morales helping them get back to their own universes.
Okay.
So and that
It's like a little Bill and Ted's.
yeah, and it's
Sort of
as
thing.
fun as well, and they're all like all of these Spider-Mans are all and women and women.
People.
Spider
Yeah, spider people. All of these spider people are all amazing at what they do, but they're just different. They all have different styles, but it's fun to see like how they all interact with each other and just and how Miles Morales like turning into this Spider-Man, how he can catch up to their skill level. And it's fun to watch that, and it's fun to see him struggle through that.
How was the father son thing? I saw a little bit of that in the trailer.
It was great. I think it was very heartfelt, and you understood from the very, very beginning. Yeah, you see it in the trailer as well, where the father's like talk. He's a
You gotta
cop.
say it back.
Yeah,
You gotta tell me you love me.
Yeah.
You see like he's saying, I'm only because he's taking Miles Morales to it's like a preppy school, and he's like, I'm only taking you here because I want you to use your fullest potential, and Miles Morales isn't very happy about that, and he's like, I just want to be in a normal school, and he tells him, son, I do this because I love you, and then you see in the animation you see him hurt, and I thought that was like that's very well done. It's very like they got down like the nuances of all the actors, and I think that like not only was it very well done voiceover acting, but just very well done animation in terms of expressions. Like you got all of those micro expressions as well. It's like, damn, that's that's good acting, but it's animation,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So it's like, wow, you know. And then so like Miles's father is a very like well developed character, and you
But
understand.
even the uncle as well. Is
Yeah,
another
and the
well-developed
uncle.
character.
Then they're both, and just the dynamics between the father and the uncle, and which I think for and it isn't even, you don't get that much of it in the film, but you get enough where it's powerful enough to care about all of them and what's happening.
That's what I appreciate about this film, because majority of people know Spider-Man as Peter Parker, and even though Peter Parker is in this film, this is really a Miles Morales story.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that they didn't share the bill with Peter Parker because they weren't sure if this character was going to be successful or not. They let it be him, and they went for it, and I thought it paid off really well for that.
Yeah. And I would say the just like, I guess one of the themes in the film, they said you got to have a leap of faith. So they had the leap of faith in
themselves.
putting it all in and trusting that Miles Morales led film would be successful, which I think it has been in all ways. So
yeah, Z wants to give the moral of the story, which I was hoping not to give away.
Oh, don't do it.
But he gives it away.
Well, delete it.
So you go watch it to find the moral story. The moral of the story.
I'm just messing with you, Z.
Should I just say it out loud then? Because he wrote it. The moral was to believe in yourself, because Miles has to let go of his own insecurities before becoming Spider-Man.
Okay. Yeah. All right, I'll give you a
He's
thumbs
like, what?
up.
It's not giving anything away. Mike just said it. He said leap of faith. He didn't say believe in yourself.
I'll give you a thumbs up, Z. Thank you for breaking that down. So, yeah.
So
all right.
Sure, go for it.
Can I take points and give them to myself now?
Yes, you can.
All right, so it's dine in.
Okay,
I agree with, your review.
Everything you said?
Everything you said sounds like a dine in, so.
Okay.
Well, before that, so everyone knows Batman villains and the rogue galleries for that, but Spider-Man has an equal rogues gallery for villains, and the villains that they had in this film, which is not just Kingpin, but they have several villains.
They do
in this film, were fantastic to see as well.
So it was like Scorpion. Is he like Brazilian or something?
No, not typically,
because he was like speaking in another language. I was like,
Spanish.
Was it okay? Yeah. I was like that. Like some of the word, I was like, that's not a Spanish word. I was like, is that like mixed with like Portuguese or something?
Oh no, he was Spanish.
He's just Spanish. Okay,
yeah,
all right.
They were also ultimate villains from the 1606 universe. Yeah, Miles Morales' universe, which is not our universe, by the way.
Okay. So there was
Peter Parker that's in the film is from our universe.
Okay,
if that makes sense.
Okay, I got you.
Because the beginning of the film, when they introduced the Spider-Man of Miles Morales' universe, they basically show the films that were made by Sony, but in animated form, but they're different, which is brilliant because there's subtle nuances like that. So,
yeah. So basically, like the other you're talking about the other Spider-Man films with like Tobey Maguire,
right?
Yeah. They so Spider-Man is as he's going through his backstory, it's animated versions of those Tobey Maguire films, including the not so popular scenes of
Spider-Man 3,
which is funny.
But also in that version, you can tell it's different because this Spider-Man is blonde, and we know Spider-Man. Well, there's different variations of his, but typically he's also brunette. So there's just subtle nuances that for fans would, if they pick up, will really, really enjoy. And if you don't pick it up, you'll still enjoy the film.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. So Easter eggs for those that will catch them.
Yeah. So it's so fun. So go ahead and give yourself a point. But before you do that, tell us who wins.
Okay. Well,
I guess we both win.
I have to pick. Yeah, you gave the same rating.
Yeah. So
you both win,
or we both lose.
Or you both lose.
Yeah. Well, you're welcome to join.
And then, so for the going Mortal Engines, did I get points for that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you got quadruple points, I think. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Cory. I hope that fills in. our contractual obligation of giving you points for this season.
He'll let it.
I'll run it by the lawyers.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll live another 6 months. I don't know.
Z says it's the best Sony Spider-Man film. I feel like it's I think it's probably the best Spider-Man film, or one of. Well, yeah, it's probably one of the better Spider-Man films.
Yeah. What other one would you have said is as good? Because it seemed like
I really like Homecoming. I really enjoyed
Oh,
Homecoming.
okay. Yeah, I enjoyed it as well. Yeah.
All right, so that will do it for us here at Movie Menu Podcasts, Movie Menu Reviews. Thank you so much, Mike, for co-hosting.
Thank you.
And being on the show, even though you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Cory, for being our special guest and for taking points away from me and Mike. We always appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Now that we can't have any, we're glad that you won them fair and square.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So on that note, go ahead and until next time.
Oh, if you want to...
actually visit. Go ahead and give a shout out to Hooba Canoes.
Shout out to Hooba Canoes.
Yeah.
You can go to the website. It's www.hooba. Why does anybody say www? Nobody needs to say that. It's hoobacanoes.com.
Wait, is it www?
It's www.
Is it
www?
Is it- you got- you-
HTTP
forward slash
Yeah, http:// www
forward
/ I'm
only
sorry.
accessible on dial-up. I don't know how we managed to do that.
That's great. I have a dial-up, so it goes okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah. We're just gonna end it there. HTTP:// www.
Do you want to talk about Hooba Canoes or anything about that, or just have them check out the website?
It's a website. I haven't done anything on that website for ages, but it's I guess a dark comedy website, anti-corporate. There's videos and articles and a bunch of nonsense, and you can check it out and see what's there.
I like nonsense. I think I'm gonna go there.
It's not nonsense. I think thematically it all kind of makes
It's
sense.
all cohesive.
It's all cohesive.
Yeah, it's very coherent.
It's only nonsense when Mike is there, because Mike, you're a part of this too, aren't you? Aren't you like aren't you like the intern or something?
Yeah, I'm the intern. Yeah.
You're Cory's intern.
He would be he would be considered a drone.
Yeah,
A drone,
drone.
that's
Yeah,
right.
that's my official title.
Yeah.
Is drone.
So there's different levels of employment that you can have. You can be a drone. You can be a drone master. You can be a torture master, which is great because then you get to torture other drones.
Yeah.
There's different levels of those. You can be a thought leader. You could be a master, which means you're a master of other
Do
masters.
I start off as a drone, or could I go straight to thought master?
It depends on
Thought
how much
leader.
money you have. So you can sort of like buy your position. The same way, this is how the real world works anyway.
Can I get money for Movie Menu Podcast since I'm the host? I own the majority of the stakes.
Sure. But you're going to get Hoobucks, which aren't as valuable as real money. If there's a conversion rate. So like you could have like 1 million Hoobucks and that's only worth like a couple of dollars.
Yeah.
But it's million though, right?
Sure.
Of Hoobucks?
Yeah.
I like where this is going.
You get 1 million Hoobucks. Which
So-
you'll be able to buy a couple of Hoobars out of that.
Yeah.
Oh, I like.
They're very nutritional.
It's very
Mostly organic material. Some cardboard in
it's,
there.
It's very Soylent Greenish.
Soylent Greenish.
Yeah.
Only some it's partially cruelty free.
It's all no, not at all.
Yeah, it's totally cruel.
It's 100% cruel.
Very deadly.
Very deadly.
I'm trying not to become a Hoobar myself. So
not cage free, caged humans.
Yeah, it's caged. Yeah.
But rolled into a Hoobar, which they
Yeah.
come in different flavors. There's pizza flavor. There's dirt flavor.
Dirt, yeah. That's
so
my
it's-
favorite.
So it's like Harry Potter and the jelly beans. Like you
Yeah.
don't know what flavor you're gonna get until you
Yeah.
taste it.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
What's your favorite flavor? I interrupted you. I'm kind of scared to find out, but
No, it's the dirt flavor.
the dirt?
It's very earthy.
Yeah. I hated it at first, but when that's the only thing you can eat, it's great.
Yeah. We gotta start selling them. I'll bring some next time.
On that note, thank you guys so much. Please make sure to visit our website, moviemenupodcast.com. That's moviemenupodcast with an S.com. Also, follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. You can also listen to our episodes on audio podcasts through iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. SoundCloud is included. Thank you guys again. Until next time, goodbye.
See you later.
Skip